Published, 7:39 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 29th of September 2018. Updated, 7:43 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 29th of September 2018. West Coast players started their long night of celebration by drinking beer from the AFL Premiership Cup moments after their epic grand final victory over Collingwood. Forward Scott Lycett was filmed in footage obtained by Daily Mail Australia pouring a bottle of West End beer into the cup as teammates celebrated around him, then drinking from it. The 25-year-old then poked out his tongue at the player filming the stunt, while team officials warned the players they needed to be on stage for official celebration in a few minutes. West Coast forward Scott Lycett was filmed pouring a bottle of beer into the cup as teammates celebrated around him, then drinking from it. Other players were also pictured drinking from the cup as the team passed the trophy they worked so hard to win around the room and took turns taking a sip. Other players were also pictured drinking from the cup as the team passed the trophy they worked so hard to win around the room and took turns taking a sip. The Eagles then donned white shirt with their jerseys worn over the top and made their way to official celebrations, high-fiving adoring fans as they walked through the crowd. They made their way to the stage at the center of the MCG where they danced as the crowd cheered, and several players made speeches. Earlier the players celebrated on the field in the minutes after winning, with their families including numerous young children joining them and playing with their premiership medals. West Coast celebrates while Collingwood looked dejected after their thrilling win that went down to the final minute. Eagles players hug each other and fall on the ground with emotion after the final siren sounded at the MUG. Eagles coach Adam Simpson celebrates with his players including Willie Rioli, Liam Ryan, the injured Nick Naitanui, left background, and captain Shannon Hearn, right. Eagles players sing the team song in the dressing rooms after their thrilling victory, celebrating the club's fourth premiership. An Eagles player holds up his premiership medal as he celebrates with the crowd, as others walk around the ground with their families. Mood was completely different in the Collingwood camp as the heartbreaking loss in the final minute of the game left players in tears on the field. The tearful Magpies players were soon after locked in a somber post-game meeting, and had to tell dozens of their family and friends waiting in a nearby room to be quiet. Collingwood president Eddie McGuire was also shattered by the loss, seen looking sad in the crowd after the final siren sounded, while coach Nathan Buckley put his head in his hands. Earlier in the week, McGuire was filmed with Magpies fans out the front of their training ground, holding a cake, a reference to the line in his club's song, "Oh, the Premierships of Cakewalk." Collingwood president Eddie McGuire looks crushed after his team lost in the final minute of the grand final. Collingwood coach Nathan Buckley puts his head in his hands after the final siren sounds on the heartbreaking loss. A Collingwood fan is in tears after her team lost the grand final in heartbreaking fashion. Magpies head coach Nathan Buckley consoles star player Steelside bottom after Collingwood's heartbreaking, last-minute loss. Devastated Collingwood players stand on the field in disbelief or bury their faces in their hands after the game. Chris Mayne and Collingwood coach Nathan Buckley embrace after the match as other players stand in shock. Magpies supporters were also devastated by the last-minute loss, sitting stunned and looking glum as the opposing fans cheered with delight. Collingwood president Eddie McGuire sadly walks around the field as devastated players and team officials sit glumly on the ground. McGuire stands in front of the players as the crushing last-minute loss sinks in moments after the final siren. Magpies supporters were also devastated by the last-minute loss, sitting stunned and looking glum as the opposing fans cheered with delight. West Coast celebrations were hard-earned after a battle for the ages against Collingwood to win its fourth premiership in a match hailed as one of the best grand finals of all time. Collingwood shot out to a 17-point lead at quarter-time, kicking the first 5 goals unanswered before West Coast clawed 2 back just before the first break. From there they chipped away at the lead slowly before leveling the score 55-all at three-quarter time to set up a thrilling final term that was decided within the last minute. Star Eagles midfielder Luke Shuey, pictured, was awarded the Norm Smith Medal as the best player on ground, racking up 34 disposals all over the field along with a goal, and was red-hot for the first 3 quarters. Mark Lecres with his young daughter who IUS excitedly holding his premiership medal. Shannon Hearn, left, and Mark Lecres of the Eagles hold the premiership trophy after winning the match, smiling on one of the best days of their lives. Jack Darling holds up the premiership trophy in one hand while cradling his young son in his other arm. Willie Rioli of the Eagles holds up the premiership trophy he helped his team earn during a massive year as a star rookie. Magpies made a good start to the final term, kicking the first 2 goals and then another after West Coast responded with one of their own. West Coast relentlessly pushed forward for much of the middle of the quarter but couldn't score a goal, only managing to kick a series of behinds to put the score back to within a goal. Finally, West Coast took the lead with just 2 minutes to go, and their supporters, far outnumbered by Collingwood's, began to believe they had a chance to put the game away, but Jack Darling fumbled the ball on the goal line. It didn't matter as West Coast was able to hold on to the slim lead until the final siren.